Well, back out and about. And quite a cold morning actually, but it is mid-November, so we can expect that. But at the moment, I'm just setting up some quite big planters, and we're going to get some flowers in at some point. We want to make sure we've still got quite a bit of colour around side. And once we get these planted, and they're going to be probably a mixture of ivy, pansy and violas, they'll just keep going right through until next spring. I'll show you planters that I'm filling up, and then we'll pop over back to the van because there's a couple of things I want to do to my vegetable plants while it's not too cold. So we've bought in quite a lot of this Jack's Magic compost. 8 bags in total, because behind me they're the planters that we need to fill, the really big ones, and the old 4 bags each, and each bag's 50 litres. So we'll crack on with that and then we'll get back to the van. These planters have only just been built and they've been lined as well, but there's no drain holes in them, so I best make a few, otherwise we're going to end up with rotting roots on these plants. I'm just making sure I break it all up. We don't want any really big lumps in there. So get that done. We'll add rest of bags and then we'll pop back to the van. And at least this job is done. Well, there's certainly not a lot to see now. Although these spring cabbages are doing quite well still. If you're growing spring cabbages, make sure you take these bottom leaves off. They're just going to attract slugs, and you can see that they're dying back anyway. So just keep taking them away. I've got a few more in this planter as well, and once again old leaves that need coming off. Even on this little one. That one, it's not yellow, but it has been damaged, so we'll just keep taking them away when they do that. But these have come on really well, and they are trying to curl up now. But it's a very cold day now. But would you believe that we're still getting strawberries? It's crazy. Never known them last so long, but very grateful for whatever I can get at this time of year. Still not much or anything in this carrot container though. I'm not expecting a deal from that now. But we've sorted the strawberries out, and you can see that these are now starting to die back. So as they do that, just take everything away. They'll stand really cold temperatures. And if you look there, it is still trying to put out new growth. So I'm just stripping them back. Get rid of all them dead leaves. So we're basically left with something like that for New Year. So I shall do that with all of these, and they're runners that we took off as strawberry plants this year, so we've got a fresh batch ready to go. There's mints still looking alright though. I've got nothing in this propagator at the moment, but I'll probably store a couple of bits and bobs in there for when we get really bad frosts. And it's definitely time to cut back this golden raspberry plant. And I have actually still got a few hot chili peppers that have ripened. Amazing for mid-November. And believe it or not, some ripe sweet peppers. This one has completely rotted away, so obviously there was something wrong with that. But this one, that's perfect. Considering we've had these outside all year, we've done really well. That's a nice pepper. Absolutely brilliant this year. That's got a bit of damage on it, that one, but I could just cut that off and use this part. That one's alright though. I think that's that plant about done, but not bad for this time of year at all. This plant's on its way out as well, but even that has still got a couple of decent peppers on it. I'm taking that one as well. Nice and firm those. These are actually still trying to ripen. Considering temperatures, it's pretty good, and the plant is basically about finished now. We are still using this green stalk planter, but we're using it now just to grow beet leaves and things like that, probably a bit of lettuce. It's done its job for its first year anyway. And we've still got some French beans growing, and they're trying to grow beans. As you can probably tell, I'm wearing more layers than an onion. It's very, very cold out there. But to pop outdoors mid-November and come back with that, I think is amazing. Hot chili peppers, ripe strawberries and sweet red bell peppers. That is probably as long as I've ever known them last when it drops cold. And just a warning for next week, the temperatures are going down to that dreaded figure, minus. So in this area we're looking at -1 and -2, and of course along with that we're going to get snow and ice. So it's time to dig back into your sheds and get that fleece out. If you've got any plants growing outside without protection, you're going to have to fleece them. You don't have to worry too much about things like strawberries, onions, garlic and parsnips. They're alright. They're very cold hardy. These cabbages, they'll be perfectly fine that we've got outside. But anything else, cover them up with some fleece or bubble wrap if you haven't got fleece. Or take them indoors if you've got a conservatory or a greenhouse. If you can do that, especially if they're in containers. We know that this year is definitely not going to get any better now. So we're just making the best of it. There's going to be a lot colder days to come. We all know that. But you can still grow a few bits and bobs if you want to. But you're going to have to concentrate on all your cold hardiest stuff. Things like cabbages and cauliflowers. You can start them off, but you're better off starting those indoors and then taking them outside. But I would still fleece them, especially if they're young seedlings that you plant, because they're not so tolerant. You could get some Japanese overwintering onions and plant them as sets, not seed, just like you would when you plant them in spring. And they'll stand over winter, and so will things like garlic. We have got a playlist on this channel that tells you what you can sow and grow month by month, and it does cover you from January right through to December. So if you have a little look on there, there will be an explanation of everything that you can grow during that set month. So if you're not sure what to do, just go take a look at that video. It's not too late to look at November's, and then you can look at December's, and then we'll be into New Year. But I'm more than pleased at the way this caravan container garden's turned out this year. So, already making plans for new season. But just getting what we got this morning were great. We've got cabbages, they're looking perfectly fine. Just keep on top of those old and damaged leaves, just get rid of those straight away. And come spring, you're already going to have an head start on your harvest with some spring cabbages. So anyway, that's about all. It's too cold outside. The sun is out, but it's still got quite a chill in air. So I'm going to be back indoors for the rest of the day, concentrating on doing some more quizzes. And if you've not seen my quiz channel that I've started, I'll leave a link in the description, so that when we do get to that point where it's cold and dark and there's absolutely nothing to do outside, you can pop over to that channel and try out a few quizzes, and I cover all different types of topics. And if you like the quizzes and they keep you entertained, then please subscribe to that channel. I'd really appreciate that. But I think for another week, that's about it. We'll do some more work when the weather's fitting, but definitely this coming week, it's not going to work out for us. It's going to be way too cold. Maybe I'll start a few things indoors. We'll see. But I could always start a couple of things, wrap them up in bubble wrap and put them in that propagator. That's going to protect them. And once again, thank you so much for being part of the channel. And especially well done to all those that have just started gardening. But more than that, stuck at it for what has been quite a bad year. Anyway, if you'd like to see future videos, then please hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell. And I'll see you on the next update. Take care.